Welcome to our channel, where we unpack global and geopolitical developments with clarity and depth. In this video, we explore the latest wave of Russian missile and drone attacks across Ukraine in early October 2025. Their devastating impact, the strategic intent behind them, and what lies ahead as winter approaches. We'll examine official reports, eyewitness accounts, and expert analyses to understand how this intensified campaign on Ukraine's energy infrastructure and civilian areas fits into the broader conflict's trajectory. In the early hours of October 5, 2025, Russia launched an unprecedented barrage into Ukrainian territory, firing more than 50 missiles and deploying nearly 500 attack drones. According to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, the strikes targeted multiple regions, including Ivano-Frankivsk, Zaporizhia, Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv, Kherson, Odessa, and Kirovohrad. Official tallies report at least 5 fatalities and around 10 injured civilians, with widespread damage to critical infrastructure, especially energy facilities. Among the dead were 4 members of a family, including a 15-year-old girl, killed when their home in the Lviv region was destroyed. The scale and simultaneous coordination of these attacks represent one of the most intense bombardments Ukraine has endured since the conflict began more than 3 years ago. What makes this attack different? Intensity and scale. Over 50 missiles paired with about 500 attack drones launched in a coordinated strike across multiple regions, targeting energy infrastructure. A deliberate focus on Ukraine's thermal power plants, gas facilities, and electrical grids ahead of winter. Civilian impact. Residential areas damaged with tragic loss of life, signaling a blurred line between military and civilian targets. International components in weaponry. Zelensky highlighted that many of the drone and missile components originated from Western countries, including the USA, Taiwan, UK, Germany, Switzerland, Japan, and South Korea. This blend of military strategy and psychological warfare aims to fracture Ukraine's resilience as colder months approach. One of the deadliest strikes was in Lapaivka, a village in Ukraine's Lviv Oblast, near the Polish border. Here, a family's home was obliterated, killing a 15-year-old girl, Anastasia Hrytsev, along with her mother and grandparents. Only the home's foundation remained. Across other targeted regions, civilians have been left injured, displaced, or without power and heating. Local officials report that in places like the northeastern town of Shoska, emergency provisions are being set up. Warm tents, food distribution, and psychological support to help residents endure the harsh conditions fueled by the attacks. These horrific personal stories underscore the stakes beneath the geopolitical maneuvering and armed conflict. Experts agree that Russia's recent strikes form part of an intensified campaign to undermine Ukraine's energy supply. By hitting thermal power plants and gas production facilities, Moscow aims to increase civilian suffering, dampen morale, and hinder military production right before winter sets in. Since the start of the war, Ukraine's power grid has been a primary battleground. Russian tactics have systematically targeted infrastructure critical to heating, electricity, and water supply, complicating Ukraine's ability to maintain normal life and defense readiness. One recent attack severely damaged a thermal power plant, injuring 2 workers as repair crews race against time to restore capacity. The winter in Ukraine spans late October through March, with January and February being the coldest and most challenging months. Kyiv has responded with long-range strikes targeting Russian energy infrastructure, leading to power disruptions in Russian border regions. Meanwhile, Ukraine's air defenses work tirelessly to intercept or jam incoming drones and missiles, successfully neutralizing the majority of threats overnight in some instances. President Zelensky has called for stronger international export controls on drone components and far tougher sanctions against Russia, lamenting what he calls the zero real reaction from the global community despite the intensifying attacks. NATO countries and regional allies remain watchful. Poland scrambled jets to defend its airspace during these attacks, and Lithuanian airports temporarily closed amid security concerns. The assault marked the most extensive air attack in the Lviv region since the conflict's inception. Officials reported areas of industrial capital engulfed in flames and power outages affecting tens of thousands. These strikes are not isolated, but fit a broader Russian strategy to erode Ukraine's logistical and military capabilities through infrastructure degradation. The intent is to weaken both the civilian population's endurance and the frontline forces' capacity to resist. The ongoing destruction highlights the stalled peace efforts and growing international concern over civilian-targeted warfare tactics. The recent wave of drone strikes highlights a technological evolution in warfare. The drones used are sophisticated, aided by components internationally sourced, complicating global efforts to curtail the drone supply chain. Ukraine's air defenses intercepted or jammed more than 80% of missile and drone attacks during recent bombardments, showcasing the importance of improved air defense systems. However, the high volume of drones stretches defense capacities and raises questions about sustainable countermeasures in future clashes. With chilling weather looming, Ukraine faces amplified vulnerabilities. Energy systems under constant threat pose risks not just to civilian well-being, but also to military logistics. Repair teams remain on constant alert to restore damaged infrastructure, while citizens endure hardships exacerbated by the conflict. International observers warn that without stronger diplomatic or defensive support, the conflict's humanitarian toll could worsen significantly in the coming months. The October 5th to 6th missile and drone strike wave is emblematic of an escalating Russian strategy to initially break Ukraine's infrastructure and morale through crippling energy and civilian targets. The personal tragedies and broader geopolitical stakes intermingle in a conflict that is far from over. As winter tightens its grip on the region, the resilience of Ukraine and its international partners will be tested. This chapter in the enduring conflict underscores the complexity of modern warfare, where technological innovation, international politics, and human costs collide. Stay with us as we continue to follow these developments closely, bringing you clear, insightful coverage of the ongoing crisis. If you found this detailed analysis valuable, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. Share your thoughts in the comments. How do you see this conflict evolving? Your engagement helps us bring more vital news to you. Thank you for watching and supporting thoughtful, informed global news coverage.